smoked salmon Benedict. So I pulled the bread and asparagus off of the grill pan. The bread is sourdough, sliced and grilled with a little bit of butter. And then I tossed the asparagus in butter too, and I grilled it. So that's gonna just hang out until the finished dish is ready to assemble. So this is eggs Benedict with smoked salmon, and I need to poach the eggs. So I have a simmering pan of water, and it's just to the bubbling stage, and you can see that I'm creating basically a cyclone or tornado in the water, going a little bit faster and faster. And then as soon as it really starts to go, I'm gonna drop in 4 eggs. I'm gonna try to drop them in one at a time. There's 1, 2, 3, oh, 3, 4. That's okay. So then you can see, Alex, can you get in here and see this? You see how the whites are kind of starting to fold in around the yolks, and that's exactly what you want to happen. So I'm gonna get in here and just kind of make sure they're separate eggs that are poaching, not just one big egg with 4 yolks. That's happened to me before. So while the eggs are poaching, I'm gonna get started on the hollandaise sauce, and that's more egg yolks. This is a very egg yolky dish. And then I've got some lemon juice, and it goes in along with the zest from the same lemon. And I'm gonna give this a little bit of a buzz. Oh, I forgot to drop vinegar into the water. Oh my gosh. Tablespoon of vinegar in the water. I forgot to do it ahead of time. I'm just gonna do it now for fun. But it really helps kind of get those egg whites to kind of stick to the egg yolks. Okay, I'm gonna add some salt and pepper into the blender. This is kind of a magical sauce, hollandaise. To me, it's the most delicious sauce in the world.
Same.
Okay, now the secret is, Alex, look, I have sizzling melted butter in a little saucepan, and I'm gonna turn on the blender and drizzle this in slowly, and it's gonna emulsify and turn this into a sauce. So before I check the sauce, I'm actually gonna come back to the poached eggs because I don't want those to go too far. And look at this, Alex. Look at this beautiful poached egg.
That looks perfect.
It really does. I'm gonna put them on paper towels just to drain the excess water. And you kind of want to pull out a poached egg right before you think it's done, because it's gonna continue to kind of cook the yolk even after you take it out. So you don't want to have that yolk turn into a dry yellow yolk. Look at these, they're so pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna add some herbs. I have parsley, I've got fresh dill, and some fresh chives. And I actually don't want to completely pulverize and grind up the herbs. I want them to stay in little flecks. So, okay, and then that little pulse should have done the trick. So let me just take a look and see. Can you see that? Is it thick?
Oh, it's really thick.
Oh my gosh. I love hollandaise sauce so much. So now it's time to assemble, and I'm just gonna use one of these plates. So I'm gonna start with a piece of the grilled bread, and then I've got some beautiful smoked salmon. You like smoked salmon?
I do.
I'll get one of these beautiful, I can just use my fingers, we're family. Beautiful poached eggs. Okay, now I'm gonna grab the asparagus. And, you know, you can put it on the Benedict. I'm just gonna put it to the side rather than try to do a balancing act. Can you see? I just think the green asparagus is such a beautiful kind of accompaniment for the salmon and the hollandaise. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
This is where the rubber meets the road right here. It's gorgeous green. It's very, very thick. If it gets too thick, you can always thin it out with a little bit of hot water, but I think it's actually just perfect. Wow. How gorgeous is this? I mean,
beautiful.
Oh, and then I forgot, I saved some little chive pieces, so I'll just kind of do a little crisscross. And then a little tiny sprinkling of pepper is always beautiful. How perfect is this for the holidays? Breakfast, brunch, lunch, midnight snack. No brunch menu is complete without my favorite food group of all, bread. At least it's one of my 70 different food groups. I love food, have I mentioned? Bagels are a classic brunch food, so I am gonna make them super sweet and luscious with a yummy glaze over the top. You're not gonna know what hit you with these. They are incredible. So I've got mini bagels and I am making a cream cheese mixture. I was just kind of getting the cream cheese started, wanted to soften it a little bit. So I'm gonna sweeten up the cream cheese with a couple of tablespoons of maple syrup. That is awfully sweet indeed. And then vanilla bean paste. I'm just gonna pour in about a tablespoon or so. This stuff is a miracle. The flavor is incredible, and you get these little flecks of vanilla bean all throughout whatever you add it to. I always need to have something really sweet and decadent on any sort of brunch buffet, but I love these because they're sort of a cross between cinnamon toast and sticky buns, just amazing. All right, I got all of this mixed together. So now I'm gonna spread this mixture on these mini bagels. So I'll get a good amount on a knife and just smear it all over the surface. And you wanna be generous. This is no time to practice restraint. All right, one bagel half done. Now I'm gonna do the same thing to the rest. Okay, they're all spread. Right now they kind of look like just traditional bagels with cream cheese, but there is nothing traditional about this. I'm gonna make a streusel topping for these bagels, and I'm just gonna tell you, they send these over the top. So I've got some rolled oats and brown sugar, flour, and pecans. This is kind of a classic streusel mixture. And I'll break that up real quick and then add some cinnamon and baking powder and then a good pinch of salt. I really like that saltiness in any sort of sweet streusel topping. So I want to make sure this is all mixed together. This would go great on apple pie or anything that needs a streusel topping, even muffins. All right, now I have a little skillet of melted butter, and it is salted butter as well, so it's got a little of that yummy salt that I like. And I'm stirring gradually as I drizzle it in. I don't want it to go in quickly because it'll form kind of a big clump, and I want it to be more evenly distributed and not get too wet. All right, looks great. So now I'll just kind of fold and stir until it all just barely comes together. Oh, it smells so good. And now that is something about these bagels that is great for brunch. You want to bake them pretty close to when the guests get to your house because the smell is incredible. It's kind of like you're burning a cinnamon roll candle or something. Really tasty. Okay, now the streusel goes on top of the bagels. And you can use a scoop if you want, but I'm just gonna use my fingers, which is my favorite tool sometimes. And I'm just gonna do a little mound on each bagel. And if a little streusel gets on the sheet pan, that is just fine. And I like the mini bagels because you don't wind up with just a huge helping for each person. And that's the thing about brunch buffets or any buffet. You want everything to be, you know, not overwhelmingly huge, and then everybody can serve themselves an assortment and it'll all still fit on the plate. These are all ready to go in the oven. So I'm gonna bake them at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes until they're bubbly, caramelized, and magical. A lot of very good things happened in that oven. The streusel topping got a little bit golden on top, and the cream cheese got nice and soft. So first things first, I'm gonna get all the bagels onto the platter. So they are 99% perfect. I just need to drizzle on this yummy glaze, and all it is powdered sugar, heavy cream, and a pinch of salt to offset all the sweetness. So I'll just use the fork and let it kind of fall naturally onto the bagel. And no need to be shy with this. Really drizzle it on. This is part of what's so magical about these. And honestly, this is one of those things where it's like, is this really a breakfast food? Or is this a decadent dessert? All right, one more. Basically, you want to drizzle until your countertop is a mess like mine is. Gotta go back to the first one. I was being shy there on the first one. I'm gonna have a few friends over for brunch, and I'm making a really great, easy menu, starting with breakfast enchiladas. These are so, so tasty. I've got a pan that I'm gonna bake the enchiladas in, and I'm drizzling in about half a cup of salsa verde, just all over the bottom of the pan. And now I will start filling the enchiladas. I'm using little corn tortillas, and I warmed them just to make them more pliable. And the first thing I'll add is just a little smear of jalapeno cream cheese. The jalapeno cream cheese adds such amazing flavor, but really you could use any flavor of cream cheese that you happen to have. Garlic and herbs, anything works. Okay, now I'm gonna grab this pan. I made a scrambled egg filling earlier, and it is so delicious. I think what Lad and I love about living here is that it didn't take long at all for it to feel like home. Because we built the house on the exact same spot that our old house was on, I look out the windows and I see the same things, and it still feels like home. And another thing we love about it is that we seriously use every single room. We don't have rooms and rooms that sit empty without any activity. That was one of our criteria when we made the list of things we wanted in the house. We just wanted to use the house. We're having a lot of fun. All right, I got the last enchilada assembled, and then I want to top this with more sauce. You can use more of the salsa verde, but I'm going to use red enchilada sauce. And that is exactly the way I love to eat enchiladas. So I poured a pretty generous amount of red enchilada sauce over the top, and I'm gonna sprinkle another generous amount of pepper jack cheese. You can do sharp cheddar, you can do plain Monterey Jack cheese. You can also put cheese inside of each enchilada, but the cream cheese kind of gives it that element. All right, I'm gonna cover it with foil. I want to eat these right now. I'm hungry. All right, and I'm gonna park the pan in the fridge, and then I'll bake the enchiladas just before brunch time. And that is how I like to entertain. It's all make ahead for me. Well, my friends will be here soon, and the brunch food all looks so good. Pretty colors, smells amazing too. So I just have a few finishing touches. I'm gonna get this glorious mango salad into a serving bowl. It's been marinating, and oh my gosh, it just, every time I make this, I just think there is no prettier salad in the world. And over to the breakfast enchiladas. And I just like to top them with some diced fresh tomato and some diced avocado. It's perfectly ripe. Ooh, got a little heavy on the avocado on that side. The enchiladas are so hot that they'll sort of slightly warm these toppings. And oh my gosh, can you tell I'm hungry and ready for brunch? Extra cilantro. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's cilantro basically everywhere in this meal. When I look at the enchiladas and mango salad together, they're just gorgeous. They have kind of the same colors. They're playing off each other in a beautiful way. I remember everything I ever ate between the ages of 2 and 22. I cannot remember my to-do list today, but I can remember everything I ate when I was young. Well, when I was in 9th grade French class, my teacher, Madame Smith, shared a recipe called French breakfast puffs. They were so delicious, and I've been making them ever since. They are incredible, and I'm gonna make a mini version, and they're gonna be the perfect little brunch bite. So I'm making the dough or batter for the French breakfast puffs, and I've got some sugar and butter that I've been creaming together, and I have a beaten egg, and that goes right in. And while that mixes, I'll get the dry ingredients ready, and I have some flour in a bowl, and I'll add big teaspoon of baking powder, and then I'll sprinkle in some salt, and I'll stir this together. Okay, got that stirred. Now I've got the dry ingredients and I've got a little pitcher of milk, and I'm gonna alternate adding them, and I'll let it kind of slowly mix together after each one. So I'll add a little bit of the dry ingredients and a little bit of the milk. I can so remember going home after that 9th grade French class with this recipe, and my mom and I made them. My mom was even saying, my gosh, these are good. It kind of became our go-to snack to make for like after ballet class or take to my brother's golf tournaments. Everyone always loves these. So I'm going back and forth, just a couple more little alternating additions. And the very last one, and the last of the milk. It's every bit as easy as it was when I was 15. Braces, freckles, I remember it well. All right, that is looking good. So I'll turn that off. You don't want to overmix this so it's perfect. And I'll bring over the mini muffin pan, and I'm going to use this scoop to get the batter into the pan. Okay, these are going to go into the oven. I'll bake them at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes until they're just set. And the thing about French breakfast puffs, the oven stage is not the end of the story. After they bake, I'm going to finish them off, which really takes them over the top. And part of that involves cinnamon sugar. So that's what I'm going to make now. Now, if you've never made cinnamon sugar before, this is how you make it. You mix cinnamon and sugar. It's very simple. So when the puffs come out of the oven, I'm going to dunk them in melted butter and roll them in this cinnamon sugar. Ooh, that's the best part. It's best to do this step when the puffs are still nice and warm, so have everything ready right when they come out of the oven. And that way, each little muffin will absorb the butter, and that's exactly what you want. And then it goes into the cinnamon sugar, and then kind of roll it around. As I do this last one, I'm going to tell you that when I was in French class with Madame Smith, she let us all pick out our French names, and I picked Sylvie. And so every morning she would say, "Bonjour, Sylvie." And I'm still in touch with her twins who were my age. And get this, I'm still in touch with Madame Smith. She's doing great in retirement. She was such a lovely teacher. It's cool how you can just remember those really great teachers. And it's cool how you remember the things you eat when you're young. Goodness gracious, these are incredible. The only downside of serving these at brunch is that they disappear in about 90 seconds. All right, mini French breakfast puffs, a favorite treat from my youth, and so perfect for brunch. Gotta say, I think of all the brunch recipes I'm sharing with you today, these would have to be my favorite. Oh my God. It's an all-in-one main course. It's got a great shortcut ingredient, and it's make ahead. Check, check, and check. I'm gonna assemble the casserole today and bake it tomorrow. I'm just browning some breakfast sausage with some finely diced onion. This is a really hearty breakfast casserole. It's kind of old-fashioned. It reminds me of something my mom and her friends used to make for brunch years and years ago. And I love it because everything is all in one casserole. I'm gonna let the sausage cook all the way through. And while it does, I'm gonna grab that shortcut ingredient. Frozen tater tots. So easy. All I need to do is get them into a buttered baking dish. This perfect layer of tater tots is gonna get topped with the brown sausage and onions. And it's fine that this is hot. It's gonna have a chance to cool down before I add the other ingredients. Once the casserole bakes, those tater tots just turn into potatoes. You would never know they were frozen. Okay, that is all the sausage. Now I'll start working on the egg mixture. This casserole has a lot of cheese, so I'm gonna grate up some cheddar and some Monterey Jack. It's probably the cheese combination that I use the most in my kitchen. When it comes to making things the day ahead, whether it's dinner, lunch, or brunch, casseroles are always so handy. So many casseroles can be assembled the day before and baked when you need them, and it just saves so much time, especially if you're having friends over. You want to keep the kitchen clean. Okay, that's enough cheddar. I'll start grating the pepper jack. Love pepper jack cheese. It's so creamy and I love the spice. Okay, that's it for the cheese. Get it out of here. I grated so much it's stuck. All right, now for the eggs. I've got 4 eggs that I cracked into the pitcher. And I'll add a cup of milk. It's whole milk just to make the whole thing a little more rich. And speaking of rich, a little bit of half and half, just about half a cup or so. Now the sausage is really flavorful and plenty salty, but I'm gonna add just a little bit of seasoned salt, about a 1/4 teaspoon. And for some spice, a little cayenne pepper. Really simple. And then I'll whisk this together. You know, this is kind of a down-home dish. There's nothing fancy or elegant about it. And that's why I kind of like serving it at a ladies' brunch. You don't have to be fancy when you have friends over. As long as it's delicious and you make everything look nice, it's just perfect. Okay, that is nice and mixed. So I'll add some green and red bell pepper. I seeded it and pulled out the membranes, and then I diced them really fine. Okay, the last thing to add to the egg mixture is half of this cheese. The other half is gonna go on top of the casserole. I think I might have over-grated here. There's a lot. Okay, I'll give it a quick stir. And then this beautiful concoction gets poured over the sausage, which is cool by now. And look at all that chunky wonderfulness. Those veggies. I'll just spread it out into a single layer. Make sure it's all even. And then the rest of this cheese goes on top. This is a cheesy, cheesy dish. I think there's more cheese than anything else. I could give up a lot of things in life when it comes to food. Cheese is not one of them. Now I've just got to cover it with foil, stash it in the fridge overnight, and tomorrow when it comes to baking and serving, well, that's going to be a cinch. I'll get the casserole into the oven at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. Then I'll take the foil off and bake it for another 20 minutes. Then when it's hot and bubbling, I'll get it out and onto the counter. And everyone will have a lovely, hearty helping. Oh boy, check out all the tater tots and sausagey, oniony, eggy cheesiness. Fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna get this into the fridge, right along with the Bloody Mary bar kit. So that's one cocktail done and the casserole done. Brunch is right on track.